Okay, guys, hey, how are you? This is Sam, QC1, the first flight. Although I say I fly at FPV, I don't fly at FPV. Just for the first time, I needed to get familiar with the quadcopter. As you see, it took off really nice. It's a very one-to-one flying, just like they say it is. It's definitely worth the full $120. So I get it up in the air and I start learning to turn it around. At this point here, I don't even have it connected to my cell phone. I had a little difficulty and learning curve figuring out how the network was working. So it was recording in 1080p or 720p on the camera card itself, and I was just standing down there watching it. So you'll notice as it kind of goes through, I took it a little higher, turned it back and forth, kind of spun around a little too fast. Didn't really wasn't trying to make a perfect flight video. I was trying to get familiar with all the nuances of this new copter. Now you'll notice that when it comes down, it flutters a little bit. Um, that's normal. This quadcopter here has a lot of interesting features. It has GPS lock. If it loses signal, it will raise up 10 meters and then come back to the spot that it was started and land itself. So that's kind of cool feature. The other feature is that it has a compass, so it's able to keep itself in the column. And I'm currently flying this with the both of the switches in safe mode. So it's going to take and it's going to allow all those, but you can turn that off and you can fly it in attitude mode or whatever and kind of get really crazy with it. Because it's $420, I don't think you'd want to do that. So once I got familiar with it and felt safe, I started bringing it down, bringing it in and out to us, taking my hand off the controller, letting my one thumb just basically push it in, push it out, and it was very responsive. It was just really fun. So I started then taking it around to feel the perimeter of it. And I have another video that's going to be right out after this one that's just amazing. That I'm getting better every day with the pulling in and the pulling out. And I actually have an argument with it, and it's a kind of a funny video. You're probably going to enjoy that one. But as this one goes along, I'm getting a little bit more familiar, pushing it away from me, spinning it around, working it from right to left. I tried to hand the controller to her just then, and she refused. She was like, that's $420. I'm not going to take that. So I had felt comfortable enough that I thought that somebody had never flown RC that could fly this. Because as long as you don't pull the stick down and crash it in the ground, it's not going to want to crash. And if you don't bounce it off of something, then, or like clip a tree or get it near power lines, the internal mechanisms will keep it semi-autonomous. And with me having it in a semi-autonomous mode, it really does wonderful things. This is going to be a great quadcopter to take and do some really good photoing with. Now let's get crazy. And fade to black. Alright guys, you just saw my first run, and this is a continuation of the run. The battery lasted 19 minutes. I've cut this movie down to 10. just kind of screwing around, going back and forth. I do something that's really crazy here that most people wouldn't do. Is I GPS locked it when it started off, so it knew where it started from, indicated by the green blinking light on the back. And once I've GPS locked it, I now am going to drive it away from me and turn off the remote. And when I turn off the remote, you're basically going to see something incredible happen. It's going to go, oh, I'm no longer talking to you. I've got to come home. And it does just that. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that in a place that's not an open field, but I definitely needed to know that it was going to do what I asked it to do. So here, I took it up, I shut off the remote. When it comes back around, you're going to see my hands are off the controller, and you will watch it land itself autonomously. See, my hands were off the controller. So it finds the spot that it took off from. Okay, hold on a sec. That wasn't the spot that I turned it off. I sent it away from me first. There we go. Now it's going away from me. What I was doing is I was setting the column of air and giving it the compass reading. And once its compass reading was right, now I turn off the controller. And my wife looks at me like, did you just turn off a $420 quadcopter's controller? And I was like, yeah. She was like, why would you do that? And I said, well, I have to know that it does what it's supposed to do. So what happens is, as soon as it loses communication with the base, and you can tell I'm still controlling it, because at the point that it loses communication with the base, the yellow light on the back of the copter will start blinking. It will raise up 10 meters. It will fly over to where it started, and it will land itself. And, oh, I see. It's actually the next segment coming up. I got a little ahead of myself. I'm excitable like that sometimes, especially when I'm flying something that's so awesome. So I got very comfortable bringing it in close to me. It's very stable. I was able to basically bring it in, bring it out, send it up, bring it down. The controls are very one-to-one. DJI is doing amazing things in this field as far as advancements for these, and I can't wait to get my hands on the Ronin. I want a Ronin so bad it ain't funny. I'll have to settle for this right now. I've now gotten 3 batteries and a case. Okay, so here we go. It's now raising up on its own. You see how slow it's moving. And I've turned off the controller. Now we pick up with the controllers turned off. It's in come home mode. I've been talking about for the last 30 seconds. You see my hands are off the controller. I am not doing anything to this copter. It is doing it all on its own. It's saying, hey, I can't talk to my base. I'm not getting commands. I need to land. And I'm explaining to my wife it's going to land exactly where we took off from. And she's like, yeah, you're an idiot. Well, that's the first movie, guys. I hope you liked it. I know I enjoyed it. More to come. Log on and subscribe to the channel, and you'll see more from me. Thanks.